Hey everybody, I'm your man Dennis Pitzenbarger. We're here, PRI show, and we are in the ERL booth with Corey Henderson. And you know what? I've seen it, you've seen it. I've seen the bottom end of an aluminum block, a stock block that's maybe stroked to 416 sitting on somebody's garage floor because it broke in half. That's where ERL comes in. You guys have a progression of incredibly strong blocks and head packages. Tell me about what's going on over here at ERL.
Well, you mentioned the self-ventilated engine blocks. We see a lot of that as well. So, you know, the factory LS block, LS2 block, LS3 block, they've got hard limits. You know, so the LS3 and then say the Camaros and the Corvettes, we're real safe up to about 650 horsepower. From there, we obviously got to start putting some stronger rotating assembly parts in there. And we don't have any issues making power. You know, that's never been the issue. So like you mentioned, we get up into the 600 horsepower range, 700 horsepower range, and then we start having issues with the liners. So we'll put in what we call our dry sleeve. It's a longer nodular iron, centrifugally spun sleeve, presses into the factory block. We've run those up into the 800 horsepower to the wheel range very successfully for several racing seasons on a lot of cars. Once you get past that threshold, you get into what we call our super deck block, which is a hard sleeve, a wet sleeve that gets pressed in. A lot of extra work gone into reinforcing the block to stabilize the sleeve. Obviously with our good crankshaft, good rods, good pistons, you know, the whole package comes together. In a 4-bolt cylinder head combination, we've run that successfully up to the 1200, 1300 horsepower range. From there, you reach another hard limit where we start having issues with keeping the heads down. So then we get into our Super Deck 6-bolt. And it's not that the bottom end isn't capable of holding the power with the regular Super Deck 4-bolt, it's just we've got to keep all that compression in the chamber. So with our 6-bolt design, we got no problems, 1400 horsepower to the wheels. Season after season after season. We've taken these motors apart after 2 or 3 years of runtime. Bearings look beautiful, cylinders look beautiful. We do a light hone on them, put new pistons in them, and run them again. So the combination is proven. From there, for the people that actually get really serious, when you're talking the 2,000 horsepower plus mark, we get into a little bit more specialized crankshaft, a little bit more specialized rod, a good piston, and then obviously the 6-bolt with a 1/2-inch head stud. But we've got our own special secret sauce proprietary O-ring gasket combination for the head gaskets, and we've run those at 2,000, 2,500 horsepower, and they just take a beating and they keep on running. What's new for us right now, we've been so successful with the LS series of engines, we've got into the LT1 motors, and we're basically taking the technology that we've gained and learned and developed with the LS motors into the LTs, and we now have a Super Deck 6-bolt for the LT motors, the LT1, LT4 motors, and we're real anxious to see how well they perform. If they do anything like our LS platforms have been, they're going to be fantastic.
Well, and you know what? A lot of what I've seen in the racing industry is the fact that the LT1, the only thing holding it back right now is this fuel delivery, just getting fuel in them at this point. It's not a matter of strength on the bottom end. You guys have proven that you can build anything that'll take big horsepower, big booster, big nitrous. It's just going to get the fuel into it, and that's really going to open these motors up even more.
And that's kind of what we're waiting on, and you're absolutely right. So the limiting factor being the fuel system, we're trying to stay ahead of the curve. We're trying to stay ahead of the game. So when the fuel systems do get developed and we are able to put enough fuel into these motors to make the power that our short blocks are capable of holding, we're going to be the people to come to. You know, there'll be a lot of things on this car. We're definitely going to find, Justin's definitely going to find the weak link on this car, but I promise you it's not going to be the short block.
All right, Corey, we got to talk really quickly about the car behind us. You know, I am a big fan of Chevrolet, obviously, and a big fan of the Corvette, but what is the story on the car behind here?
Well, we have Justin, who's the car owner right here. He'd be more than happy to give you all the little details about what makes this thing so awesome.
We'll grab his coattail and bring him in here. All right, now, Justin, give us the quick rundown, because I've been lucky enough to do some tuning back home on one of these cars, and I mean, just with bolt-ons, you can get it over 600 at the wheels. Give me the quick rundown on this thing.
Basically, I've had the car since March 14, bought it brand new. It's just been a slow process, but we finally got the car. It's gonna probably make between 1,400, 1,500 wheel horsepower. It's got a Procharger F1A94. It's got the new air-to-water intercooler kit from Procharger, direct port nitrous outlet kit. It's got a ERL 427 Super Deck. It's still a manual car right now. It's one of the fastest manual C7s in the world right now. So we're going to try to keep that record, try to get it in the mid-8s, and then that's my goal for the car. My goal for the car at the end of the day is to be able to drive it every day and go to the track run 8s and take out dates, girls, impress the girls with the Corvette. I mean, it's an all-around package, in my opinion, for a single guy in his 20s or 30s. I mean, you can't go wrong with a Corvette. So,
well, I'm not going to go with the moniker about what the vet does, so we'll just leave it at that and get Corey back over here. Thanks, man. All right, Corey, if people want more information about all of the great stuff that you do with the LS or upcoming stuff that you're going to be doing with the LT, where do we find all that information?
Well, you can get a hold of us at erlperformance.com. Call one of us on the phone. We'll listen to you and talk to you about what your specific needs are, and we'll put you into the motor that's going to be right for you. It's no problem. We do it every day.
There you go, erlperformance.com. More from Performance Racing Industry coming up soon.